Hello and welcome. This is Nationwide, reaching you on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Lami Ali. You can follow this news broadcast live on nta.ng/live and other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. We begin from the conflict in Sudan. The ongoing armed conflict in Sudan has made it difficult for patients to access medical facilities, putting the country's health system on the brink of collapse. Let's get the details from Adebola Brooklyn-Sunday.
Ministry of Health says domestic hospitals are now working at less than 20% of their capacity after 3 weeks since fighting erupted between Sudan's army and the paramilitary group Rapid Support Forces. Patients of chronic kidney disease, for instance, are facing an uncertain future over challenges such as electricity outages.
I'm lucky that I have a car at least to come to the centre. We're living a catastrophic situation and we don't know what will happen tomorrow. Most of the patients here are very exhausted and I can't bear the situation anymore.
Another health threat is critical shortage of basic goods, including water, food and fuel, arising from the conflict which have killed more than 500 people.
I live in Kober and I go to the center in Daroshab about 30 kilometers away every day. The Rapid Support Forces stop me every day at checkpoints, and last time they accused my son of being part of the military. We are ordinary people and all we want is to live and get health care.
The World Health Organization describes the situation as catastrophic and warns of their consequences for the sick if the clashes persists. Country Director of Care International in Sudan, David McDonald, said support is needed to address short and long-term humanitarian crises.
We need to be ensuring that we've got safe access to communities for humanitarian assistance, and we need to make sure that we've got corridors and financial means to be delivering that assistance to some of the most vulnerable populations in the world at this time.
United Nations said more than 100,000 refugees have crossed from Sudan to neighboring countries to escape fierce fighting, while hundreds of thousands have been displaced within the country. Adebola Brooklyn-Sunday, NTA News.
The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, NSCIA, is appalled by the bitter political rivalry that has metamorphosed into a bloody military conflict in Sudan. In a statement, the President General of the Council and the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar, says the conflict has brought devastation on the civilians, especially the losses of hundreds of lives and critical Sudanese infrastructure, with several thousands of people displaced and stranded. Unfortunately, the council added, the two gladiators in the conflicts cannot resolve their differences in a peaceful manner, flexing their military muscles at the expense of the innocent civilians. The Nigerian highest Islamic decision body pointed out that given the strategic position of Sudan, the ongoing bloodshed has the potential of creating a negative effect on other African countries. The Council calls on the United Nations and the African Union to immediately send in the peacekeeping forces to restore peace, while thanking the Nigerian government for the ongoing efforts in Sudan, just as it did in Ukraine and other countries. The Council urged it to expedite action to bring home thousands of Nigerians who are stranded in Sudan. It prayed Almighty Allah to protect all, especially those caught up in the conflict. Now, fresh reports indicate that the second group of Nigerian evacuees from Sudan has arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. Our correspondent Musa Baba Aliu is on the scene, providing us with the latest details on the measures being taken to accommodate and assist the returnees in settling back into society and reconnecting with their families. Now, Musa, what were the conditions like when the second batch of evacuees arrived at the airport?
Okay, thank you. The second batch have already arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport 130 of them on board. 28 of them are women and 2 male among them. And here with me is the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Humanitarian, Disaster Management and Social Development, Dr. Sanigozo, who is going to give us details of those that just arrived now. Doctor, now, how many of them are you just say 130? Exactly. Now, when are we expecting others to arrive?
Yes, like I said earlier, the flight that has just arrived is symbolic to us, very unique. It is the first flight out of Port Sudan. So it's like a test in the ground. And we have already successfully brought in 130 persons. 2 of them are males and 128 are females and children. Now we are moving ahead with additional flights. We are also making requests to some of the countries along the route who would not allow a big-bodied aircraft to traverse their airspace. So that is why we are using the one that has a capacity of 130. As soon as we get that approval, we are going to deploy a plane that in one go can take 500. We have them on the waiting, but we do not have the clearance to carry a big-bodied aircraft. So for now, we are bringing this team and we are moving them to their homes. And like we made arrangements for the first batch, every one of them will receive what we call the survival kit, which has been prepared by the Refugees Commission. We also have food for them, water to take. We have accommodation for them, and Dangote Foundation has given each of them 100,000 naira. And also, MTN has given them and will give them credit airtime of 25,000 and data of 1.5 gigabytes in their lines. So the Nigerian community, everybody is supportive. We look forward to more support for the process, and we want to specifically thank Air Peace and the management and the CEO for the kind gesture of opening up to give us a free air lifting, and also the Air Peace will be further engaged to do a commercial leg. They've already been contacted, so in addition to the free one they have given us, we're also going to engage them to give us a commercial aspect of it. The same thing with 2 other airlines, so that we can get 3 other airlines, so that we can get everybody out in a very short while.
Okay, so we are told at the port of Sudan, we have the sick, we have even a pregnant woman among them. So how are you managing the sick one, the old, and the women, the pregnant women?
The good news is that one of the pregnant women has delivered in the hospital. We paid the bills and we spoke with them. She's doing very well. The baby is doing well. We also have a sick person who had a glass injury in the hand, cut in the hand. That one has gone to the theater. He was operated. We have paid the bills and he's back home and very healthy and happy. He's now at the hostel. We had one that had severe malaria and she has been treated. So by and large, people were sick and they have been attended to. By and large, people were tired and worn out and traumatized, but I think their psyche, their morale is being boosted by the efforts being made and the contacts we are making and the quality of food they are being given. I will share with you some pictures of the kind of food that they are receiving. So I think at the moment, we may not be perfect, but I think we have done sufficiently well, and we are grateful to God Almighty. No Nigerian has been killed in the process. No Nigerian has suffered irreparable damage. All of it is the stress of the moment. We do hope that they will come out of it. And we have a team of psychologists and counselors to receive them. The Federal Ministry of Health has done very well by sending a team of doctors to work with them and see them through the psychological trauma. So that will be helpful as well.
Finally, before I let you go, what is the situation now at Aswan International Airport?
The situation at Aswan would have been much better than we are in now, because we had plans, we have planes that are there waiting, but some of the Nigerian travelers' behavior was not appropriate. They mixed up the process, and the Egyptian team now delayed the process completely. So we are going to be set back by 10 hours of waiting, which we've already suffered almost 5 of it. So we do hope that in the next 5 hours or so, if we are lucky to finish the process before they close the border at night, then they will all be airbound this night and they'll arrive in the morning. If the Egyptian border closes their border, then we will not be able to bring them back until tomorrow morning. They will start the journey. But we are monitoring. So far, the ambassador of Egypt, Nigeria to Egypt, has moved to that border with his team, and they're doing very well in making sure these arrangements are going according to the new schedule, the new disrupted schedule, because the earlier one was disrupted by the behavior of some unruly travelers.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And now here I have Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, who is also going to tell us the effort put in place by NEMA towards moving Nigerians out of Sudan. Sir, what has been the role of NEMA in all this?
Well, the role of NEMA has been to provide, in the first place, bringing out everybody out of Sudan through the embassies, foreign affairs through the embassies. We engaged the two embassies of Sudan, Nigerian embassy in Sudan and Nigerian embassy in Egypt, to coordinate that. And we're very thankful. The Sudanese, those that everybody has been moved out of Sudan safely. We have those at Port Sudan and we have those at Egyptian side heading towards Aswan. We have aircrafts already on ground, Max Air and Asman, they're already on ground to bring out those heading towards Aswan. We have Air Peace will be going, I believe, hopefully tomorrow. They're doing 2 flights, and TACO, this Sudanese-based aircraft, will continue with their own airlift.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, that's here, whereas the government officials told us that we are also expecting another aircraft to arrive any moment from now with about 700 Nigerians from Aswan International Airport.
For the latest updates on the efforts of the Nigerian government to evacuate Nigerian citizens caught up in the war in Sudan. Now, moving on. In order to promote and secure victory for the kind of candidates they want in elective public positions, knowledgeable young Nigerians must reach out further to connect and build bridges with their colleagues in semi-urban and rural areas who are not as privileged and exposed. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo, who expressed this view while interacting with some young Nigerians under the auspices of the Global Shapers Community Abuja Hub, says connecting with their colleagues in semi-urban and rural areas will be useful in fixing the missing link in youth participation in Nigerian politics. The Vice President also noted that corruption is the country's greatest challenge, observing that the people just have to deal with it day by day and point by point. On the most impactful lesson of the past few years, Vice President Oshibajo said it has been putting people at the center of policy. The Global Shapers Community is an initiative of the World Economic Forum with chapters spread across different countries. Now, the Nigerian aviation industry is receiving a boost as part of deliberate measures to enhance commerce and trade relations. This came to the fore during the inauguration of expansion work at the Umaru Musa El Adua Airport, Katsina. Tokpa Alabi reports.
Katsina is a major collecting point for peanuts or groundnuts and for hides and skins that are sent to Kano and other areas for exports. Katsina State has been tested to be highly fertile in mass production of cash and food crops, serving as a hub for fostering gainful trade relations amongst countries. This is challenging government to step in with an investment of 23.7 billion naira to expand existing facilities at the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua International Airport for enhanced trade relations. The project, expected to cover new terminal and cargo within the space of additional security reinforcement strategy, would be completed by the incoming government.
We have the funding more than 70%. That is number one. Number two, like we said in the case of the fire truck center, all the equipments are being imported. It's only the building. And the money for the building is available, so what will stop it? And by the way, don't forget, it is His Excellency Asuaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is coming as the president. And you know his relationship with the president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari. Not only that, he's not the kind of man that would abandon something that is beneficial for people.
It's one in history, and it will remain indelible in the history of Kaduna State. We thank you very much, and we are proud of you as a son of Kaduna State.
The work hopes to open new vista for improved domestic economic activities and promote foreign ties that will strengthen commitment towards achieving excellence in one of the nation's diplomatic zones. From Katsina, Tokbe Alabi, NTA News.
Deola is in Lagos to take us through stories from that zone. It's over to you, Deola.
Thank you, Lami. In sustaining its aggressive approach to smuggling operations within its area of responsibility, the Federal Operations Unit Zone A of the Nigeria Customs Service is strengthening prosecution against offenders. This move is yielding results as the unit says its convictions have been secured within the last 10 months. Michael Olaleye reports.
Another opportunity to remind Nigerians that smuggling is not a business but a crime. One major worry to the officers of the Federal Operations Unit Zone A is the preference of majority of the citizens for anything foreign. A clear case is the importation of these 10 bales of used clothing. In fact, the consignment also houses packs of straw.
Used straw, for crying out loud. We have it in Nigeria.
The customs has been hard on illegal importation, clearly reflected not only in accrued revenue, but number of arrests and convictions.
The unit through the Federal High Court had secured 8 convictions during the last 10 months, while 48 different cases are at various stages of prosecution. Interestingly, the outcome of our unrelenting onslaught against smuggling is the remarkable drop evident in the number of seizures recorded with 0 casualties.
Although there is a drastic drop in the smuggling of other items, but not in the number of bags of rice, as more than 8,000, equivalent of 14 trailers, were intercepted within a month.
It is when you consume what you are producing, you will be able to export and earn more. Then those that are in Nigeria, there will be more employment.
The Federal Operations Unit Zone A says its tagline against smuggling activities remains unchanged, as perpetrators risk losing investment and facing prosecution. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
And to other report now, the return of tankers to the Eko Bridge in Lagos has increased the traffic on that axis. Annie Daniels was there and reports that the traffic is better imagined than experienced.
That sound from a heavy-duty truck on the Eko Bridge, according to these pedestrians, is enough to discourage other road users from approaching the bridge.
Customers might be waiting for you to come and attend to them, and you'll be here stuck in the traffic, no movement, nothing. So it's actually affecting the business and the health.
To save time and resources, several motorists now resort to breaking traffic rules like one way.
I know that I'm passing one way, but if I don't pass one way, how will I walk? I don't want to use.
Most respondents blame this on the return of heavy-duty trucks parked right on top of the bridge.
Maybe if they are passing there, maybe they want to go and load at inside the ports. They will park them here sometime 3 days, 4 days.
And when any trailer breaks down here, you know, trailer the size is very huge. Then another one passing by, then break down by his side. We may stay here 6 hours before they will bring another bigger towing vehicle to tow it away. So then we are going to wait and suffer until they tow it. If they don't tow it, that is how we are going to see until they get a bigger towing vehicle to tow the trailer. So people are suffering, and especially trailers with heavy trucks and heavy things on top of them, heavy loads. With time, I believe the bridge will be weak and we might have a major incident here. But if we can curb that now, it will be better.
It is the belief of these Lagosians that the nightmare experienced by users of the Core Bridge and adjoining roads will soon become a thing of the past when repair works on the bridge are completed. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos for now. Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on nta.ng/live and other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. Nana is standing by in Sokoto for more reports on Nationwide after this break. To stay on.
Good evening, everyone. Still Nationwide, welcome to Sokoto. President of Nigerian Army Officer's wife, Salamatu Faruk Yahya, has inaugurated and handed over a newly constructed vesical vaginal fistula VVF center at Coronation General Hospital in Sokoto State. Ali Mohammed Kawai has the report.
Goroyo local government in Sokoto State has been identified among the areas with high rate of VVF cases. This prompted the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Faruk Yahya, to construct a VVF center as part of social responsibility to cater for patients in the zone and reduce their burden. Inaugurating the VVF center at Goroyo General Hospital, President Nigerian Army Officers Wives Association, Mrs. Salamut Faruk Yahya, said the center will treat and rehabilitate VVF patients to fasten their reintegration into the society. He said Nawa believes in uplifting the standard of living of the vulnerable in the society and commended the Nigerian Army under the leadership of Chief of Army Staff for providing the edifice.
It is a disease that is associated with stigma, but what most people don't know is that it is one that is easily curable.
Chairperson Nawa 8th Division, Sokoto Florence Mutkut, said the project is aimed at providing decent health facilities to rural communities. She added that the center is part of Nawa's intervention in reducing cases of VVF in Sokoto State.
This intervention project was necessitated by your desire to restore the dignity of women and girls living with VVF.
Commissioner of Health, Sokoto State, represented by Director of Medical Services, Dr. Shuaibu Gobir, commended Nawa for the gesture. Similarly, graduating trainees of Eagle Nest Vocational Center at the Giginya Barracks, Sokoto, were presented with starter packs and 5,000 naira each from Nawa President Mrs. Salamut Faruk Yahya. The trainees were trained in various skills. In Sokoto, Ali Muhammad Kawa, NTA News.
The registration of unemployed youths by the National Directorate of Employment, NDE, in Sokoto State was simultaneous across the 23 local government areas. The turnout was impressive.
Hundreds of unemployed residents gathered at the centers visited by the NTA News to get registered in the ongoing nationwide NDE unemployed registration exercise. The objectives of the exercise is to get the much-needed data of unemployed youth in the country. Monitoring the exercise in Sokoto State, NDE supervisor from Abuja, Umar Shehu, said it is part of the effort to fight unemployment among the populace. He said it will enable the agency obtain statistical data for policy implementation that will address unemployment and enhance job creation. According to him, the unemployed Nigerians targeted for the exercise cut across all cadres ranging from primary, secondary to tertiary level graduates. He urged youth and women to avail themselves the opportunity with arrangements for people with special needs by allocating 5% to them in each state.
We have staggering 65% youth of unemployment in Nigeria. If it's not taken care of, it will be a disaster for the nation.
Some of the unemployed interviewed expressed delight over the move and prayed that the incoming government will fulfill its campaign promises. The nationwide registration exercise, which commenced on the 17th of April, would end May 5th, 2023. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Well, that was our contribution here in Sokoto. Nationwide will continue with Lami in Abuja.
Thank you so much, Nana. Now, the House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts has invited the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, the Director General, Department of State Services, and the head of the Civil Service of the Federation over issues surrounding the appointment of the new Auditor General of the Federation. National Assembly correspondent Dayo Goshola has the details.
The Director Audit, overseeing the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation, is before the House Committee on Public Accounts to speak to non-rendition of annual reports of 3 years before the National Assembly.
If you have the General's report, the actors who ran the ministry, some of them are retired. Some of them have even died. So how would you, of what value is the report?
Armed with one of the drafts for the years in question, the director says he does not have the power to sign such reports.
Because I'm Director of Audit overseeing. But if I'm giving my acting letter as the Acting Auditor General for the Federation, I'll be able to sign and submit to you.
Other issue considered by the committee was the alleged fake security clearance reports trailing the appointment of a substantive Auditor General.
We did accreditation. After the accreditation, all those that had passed through the accreditation process were now sent to the security agencies for the screening.
That the chairman availed us all these security reports and other relative documents in tandem with his presentation. I so second.
So our ruling on that is that the DGSSS, EFCC, ICPC, they should come here and tender their report and tell us detroit of service and SGF.
The committee is to reconvene next week. From the National Assembly, Dayo Goshola, NTA News.
And from far away UK comes the report that a court has sentenced the former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu to 9 years, 8 months. Ekweremadu, his wife and a medical doctor were jailed for their involvement in organ harvesting. Dele Atumbi of our judiciary desk has the story.
On of March 2023, the former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, his wife Beatrice, and a medical doctor Obina Obeta were convicted for organ harvesting. The convicts were found culpable by the London's Old Bailey Criminal Court of conspiring to traffic the young street trader into Britain for his body parts. In Great Britain, it is legal to donate a kidney, but it becomes criminal if money or another material advantage is rewarded. Ike Ekweremadu, his wife, and Obina Obeta were arrested on June 23, 2022 following a complaint from the Lagos street boy brought into London to donate one of his organs to Sonia, the daughter of the Ekweremadus. The convicts were arraigned under the UK's 2015 Modern Slavery Act. Having been found guilty under the Act, the presiding judge, Justice Jeremy Johnson, sentenced Ike Ekweremadu to 9 years and 8 months. His wife, Beatrice, was sentenced to 4 years and 6 months imprisonment, while Obeta received a 10-year prison term. Justice Johnson told defendants, in each of your cases, the offense you committed is serious, that neither a fine nor a community sentence can be justified. The case marked the first time defendants have been convicted under the Modern Slavery Act of an organ harvesting conspiracy. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Preparation for the coronation of King Charles III in and around the Buckingham Palace and in the UK is on top gear, but unlike his late mother's mode of ascension, so many changes have been made, and these, among other things, include the crown and the deployment of guards and security. Charles Alpha reports.
London is wearing a new look ahead of King Charles III coronation on Saturday. About 400 Commonwealth nations representatives are in the UK rehearsing for the coronation ceremony. More than 29 police officers will take part in one of UK's most significant security operations for the coronation of King Charles III, while people are already preparing their space for the event.
Well, in my lifetime, how many times am I going to see a king being crowned? Trying to bring the mood and trying to do my part. fantastic to meet and work with the other Commonwealth nations. All the troops have had fantastic times. We've been swapping patches and coins and collecting memorabilia from each other. So everybody's been loving the opportunity to integrate.
The relationship between Kenya and the United Kingdom has been so nice, and so is the coronation of the king. This time it is quite okay for us as Kenyans, and it has lasted significant it.
The ceremony will undergo some alterations to represent multiple faith, cultures and communities across the United Kingdom. Britain's 17th century St. Edward's crown, the centerpiece of the crown jewel, has been removed from display to be altered for the coronation of King Charles III. The solid gold crown, encrusted with rubies, amethysts, sapphires, garnets, topazes and tourmalines, will undergo modification work for Charles III's coronation at Westminster Abbey. 2,000 diamonds. The original had been melted down by parliamentarians after the execution. Charles III will only wear it at the moment he is crowned. The more modern imperial state crown, but compared with previous coronations, King Charles III's coronation will be shorter than his mother's coronation in 1953. The ceremony will begin with the anointing of Charles, symbolizing his spiritual entry into kingship, and then his crowning and enthronement, representing his assumption of temporal powers and responsibilities. Camilla will be crowned in a shorter and simpler ceremony. The royal family will travel to Buckingham Palace afterward in a state procession and appear on the balcony to celebrate the occasion. This will be the first coronation of a British monarch in the 21st century and the 40th to be held at Westminster Abbey since 1066. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
And we now join Agatha in Benin for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Agatha.
Thank you for joining us in Benin. The Minister of State, Budget and National Planning, Prince Clem Agba, has commended the management of Irua Specialist Teaching Hospital, Edo State, for the prudent management of the 950 million naira COVID-19 fund. He disclosed this during a working visit to the health institution. Akim Tayokai completes the report.
The Minister, Prince Clem Agba, was guided on the inspection tour by the representative of the Acting Chief Medical Director of Irua Specialist Teaching Hospital, Dr. Kule Ubogayi, to inspect the state-of-art medical equipment procured from the 950 million COVID-19 fund in the intensive unit care and the molecular laboratory department of the hospital. Prince Clem Agba expressed satisfaction with the state-of-art medical equipment. He disclosed that Irua Specialist Teaching Hospital and 12 other teaching hospitals will benefit from 1 billion naira intervention fund in the 2023 budget.
Those who are providing the service also have world-class experience, and some of them are here. So what we are trying to do is to sustain what we have started.
The Minister for State, Budget and National Planning area inspected the ongoing 5,000 litres water project in Ido Muagwe Uromi, as well as the flood and erosion control in Idumu Okaibe Ewohimi, Eastern Southeast local government area. The minister and his team have visited the palace of the Onoje of Uromi, His Royal Highness Zaiki Aslim Aidonoje in Uromi. Akim Etayoha, NTA News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC Edo State, has appreciated the media for its roles in sustaining democracy in the country. Resident Electoral Commissioner Edo State, Obo Ifanga, extended this appreciation in Benin at a post-election briefing with journalists. Ogochukuka Ona has details.
This gathering is in continuation of the Commission's meeting with critical stakeholders after the 2023 general elections and thanked them for supporting the success of the elections. The briefing also created an opportunity for the Commission to ask stakeholders who feel that INEC did not meet their expectations during the elections to come assist the Commission with their suggestions for improvement in subsequent elections.
Especially before the election, many of you granted us opportunities to address the public, to tell them what we were doing.
They also clears the air about some misconceptions regarding the just concluded 2023 general elections.
The duties and the powers of the resident electoral commissioner do not include counting of votes, tabulation of votes, recording of results, announcement of results, or declaration of winners. So if election is conducted in the field and the votes are counted there by the presiding officer, recorded in the result sheet, there is nothing the REC can do.
The REC says INEC is set for the standalone election in Edo next year. Hence, he solicits more support from the public in this regard. In Benin, Agoshkuka Ona, NTA News.
That's our package. Lami continues nationwide in Abuja.
Thank you for staying tuned. President Muhammad Buhari approves the renewal of the term of office for the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Nigeria Police Trust Fund, Suleiman Abba, for another 3-year term. A statement by the Ministry of Police Affairs indicates that the renewal of the appointment, which takes effect from 19th May 2023, includes that of the Executive Secretary as well as members of the board. This is pursuant to the NPTF Establishment Act 2019 and the remarkable performance of the board as evidence in deepening policing and internal security in Nigeria. Meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari sends birthday wishes to the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum and Governor of Plateau State, Simon Bakulalong, as he marks his 60th birthday, expressing gratitude for the immense affection shown to him by the governor and the people of Plateau State. Senior Special Assistant to the President, Bashir, says the President lauded Governor Lalong for the work he has done since taking oath of office and the decisions he has taken in the last 8 years, and urged Governor Lalong to continue to bring convenience and respect to the people of his state. President Muhammad Buhari also felicitates with Felix Onwa, one of the longest-serving State House correspondents, on the occasion of his 60th birthday. The Senior Special Assistant to the President, Bashir, says as a government that values the importance of press freedom and freedom of expression to democracy, the President commends the State House correspondent for Reuters World News Agency for maintaining a high standard of journalism over the years through objective and informed reporting, free from any political interference. President Buhari joins family, friends, colleagues and members of the State House Press Corps in wishing the veteran journalist with 36 years of experience more prosperous years in health and vitality. Sports update is next.
Quarter-finalists are expected to emerge Friday at the ongoing ITTF African Cup in Nairobi, Kenya. 29 men and 23 women started the battle at the group stage. All eyes are on the continent's best players in the men's category, Haruna Quadri of Nigeria and Egypt's Omar Azar, as the duo had clashed in the last 6 finals of the tournament. In football, the Golden Eaglet of Nigeria are perfecting strategy ahead of Saturday's last group game against their counterparts from South Africa at the ongoing Under-17 Nations Cup. The Unduka Ibade Tutok side needs the maximum point at stake to advance into the quarter-final stage of the competition.
I'm actually looking forward to the final group game against the South African Under-17 boys. Actually, I think they just need just a draw to qualify, probably a goalless draw.
I feel that we should still at least manage to beat South Africa. But South Africa these days, they have woken up, their football is developing. We even have a Nigerian among them.
In the English Premier League, Manchester City will this weekend attempt to extend its lead point on the table when the team takes on Leeds United. Also, Chelsea under coach Frank Lampard will be aiming for his first win in an away date with Bournemouth, while Liverpool will entertain Brentford among other matches. With sports update, Olunde Gutola, NTA News.
And that's nationwide for today. We thank you for watching. Join us for more stories at 6, 7, and 9. Do have a blessed weekend.